Hello YouTube, I'm Mars1952 and I have another tool tip for you. So I've been losing weight, I've been on a diet for, I don't know, 6 months, and some of my favorite belts no longer have enough holes in them. It's a nice problem to have. So in the past I've just eyeballed, where to punch it, and it comes out okay, but usually you can see it. Other people can see that it's a botchy, crappy job. So this time I wanted to make sure I lined up everything correctly. And I was thinking about how to do that, and I thought, well, how about if we just fold the belt back on itself, line up the holes. You can even use some kind of an indexer, like a nail. That's a little too fat. So index the hole that way, line it up, select the correct punch size. That's probably too small. That one looks like it might do it right there. So I'll rotate that one around. Okay, so didn't punch all the way through. There you go. Got a nice hole lined up just like the other ones. So I'm going to do that one more time on this one, because this one literally was way too loose on the existing hole. I'm going to need at least one to get it to where I am now, and hopefully I'm going to lose some more weight, and I'll put one more in there while I have it on the bench. So that one had a simple hole to it. This one has slotted holes. It makes it really easy to buckle up. And I like this belt. It's got a roller on there. It's made by Timberline. It's a single layer of leather, which is really important. I didn't realize how important until 2 other belts that I bought about the same time as this just came apart. They were dual layer. They were sandwiched together with glue or some kind. They didn't last. So for this one, the holes are bigger, so it's a little easier to see. So I'm just going to line it up by eye. And of course I don't have anything slotted to do that indexing. Line it up by eye, make sure it's nice right where it needs to go. I think I need one size larger punch for this one. Get it lined up. Punch one end and punch the other end. Just make sure it's still lined up. Helps if you can see. So those holes are lined up there. Okay, so those didn't come out perfectly. The slot is not quite long enough. I just have to extend that a little bit. Okay, now the slot's about the right length, but it's a little bit ragged in the middle. So you could straighten that out with a knife. I found a chisel works better because it has a nice straight edge and you get better control of it. This is a really nice sharp chisel. Alright, well, that's not horrible, but I've done better. Looks like I need to be widened out a little bit. So on that one I noticed when I was punching through, the punch makes a hole from the center, so there's extra material here. When I was forcing my way through these other holes here as a template, it was not lining up like it should have. So you could use the same technique to line up the slots and get it nice and lined up, and then take a sharpie, a fine point sharpie, and mark your hole and then punch it. That probably would work better. Alright, well, I'm going to make another hole in this belt. This time I'm going to use a Sharpie to mark it. And I'm not going to use the hole I just made as an index because that's imperfect. So I have to fold the belt back, get the first perfect hole lined up. Well, I still have enough holes left here to go out to the second hole that I want to cut. So I'm using the back here. I'm going to mark on the back, I should say. So I've got it lined up pretty darn good. Fine point Sharpie. All I could find was a blue one. Mark the hole. Nice oval shaped hole. If you can see it. You can see that the mark is quite a bit smaller than the previous slots. So now I can choose the correct size hole punch, and I think that one's, if I go to the next size up, that's going to be too big. Well, that looks pretty good there. I'm going to try the next size up. Yeah, we'll do that. Now I'm going to stick with the one I have. It'll stretch. Alright, so once again, glasses. I always look at this stuff and I think, why can't I see that? I don't have my glasses on. I'm still not used to wearing them. Alright, so line it up over the mark. I want to take the whole mark off since it's slightly smaller than the hole. One punch. And this is a little tricky here, so you want to make sure your punches, your holes are lined up so it makes a nice even slot. You don't want it to be zigzaggy. Alright, so there's the punch. That one looks better than the first one. It's a little shorter than these other slots, but I think it'll still be okay. The slots tend to stretch out as you use it. Now I'll take the chisel, cut off the irregularities. A razor knife would work here too, obviously. Okay, so there we go. I put 2 extra holes in them. That doesn't look too horrible. This one I did, it doesn't look so good. But it'll work. Get a little bit more life out of this belt. There you go. That should last me the rest of my diet. Alright, so let's do another one. I might end up cutting this differently, cutting the video differently. Is this the one I already put a hole in there? That's a fresh hole. But I need to put one more hole in. Alright, let's do this one. These are some expensive belts I bought in Italy, and when I bought them I was planning on losing weight. I don't remember exactly what diet I was on at the time, but I had gone up a little bit from my correct weight, and I bought these, and the guy wanted me to get it one size bigger, and I said, no, I'm going to lose some weight. So finally I did lose the weight so I can wear them, and now I need an extra hole. So that's all good. Alright, so double it back on itself. These are sort of stiff, so it makes it a little bit harder to do that. You don't want to damage the belt by squeezing it down too far. Line up the hole. Now, since this belt is so thick, it's pretty much impossible to punch through using this as the guide. So I'm just going to mark it with the Sharpie. I'm going to eyeball it in. So the whole tooltip here is using the belt itself to mark, as a guide for your next hole. Alright, so that looks like about the right size hole. Now I'm going to go up one to the highest, biggest size. Okay. Get it nice and centered. Get it both ways. Didn't cut all the way through. There it goes. Alright, so there we go, one more hole. That does look a little bit big. Oh well, I guess I'm not a belt maker. But it'll function. Once you get the buckle in there, no one will ever know the difference. Alright, enough of that.